everyone, and welcome back. Today we're finally going to be trying a Orzhov Ketramose, the new Dawn control shell, where you've seen this card do incredibly good things in Modern. Unfortunately, Underworld Breach exists in that format, and this card tries to keep up with that, but Ketramose is such a cool card, and we're going to try it today here in Standard. This is a list that I've kind of come up with. We've made a lot of changes, as you'll see in Game 1. We had cards like Unholy Annex in here and a lot of different things, but I left it in just to show why I was cutting everything. And then in Games 2 and beyond is kind of a lot more like this list that we ended up on here. It was kind of a revolving door video where I made a lot of little changes throughout. It's not necessarily where I took an exact 60 and then played that for every game. I was just making a lot of adjustments throughout the video, and I talk about that a lot more in the outro if you're kind of curious what had all been in here. But this is mainly a Ketramose control pile. With that said, we are in kind of a weird state in Standard where Ghost Vacuum is actually okay to play in the more main board because of Omniscience decks and the kind of Haughty Djinn Reanimator decks or the Eyeball deck that can reanimate it. Ghost Vacuum actually finds a lot of value. Even sometimes there's Insidious Roots piles or just Zombify piles. That Ghost Vacuum finds a lot of value overall. So we're actually okay with playing 3 copies of this. And in the late game, we can kind of sacrifice this and get a lot of value from our opponent's deck. Or say we have a Ketramose and a Shieldred under there, we can bring it back as nice little 1/1s. Ketramose does have Indestructible, so that would be kind of cool. We did end up using Dreams of Steel and Oil to kind of act as a creature target spell in our opponent's hand, and we can also exile a card from their graveyard, which can trigger Ketramose down the line, but it exiles those cards, so it's even better at getting us to 7 much quicker. Playing Annoyance as kind of an exile removal spell, get lost to catch up anything that we need. And kind of the other synergy piece that I end up putting in the deck is the Carrot Cake and Caretaker's Talent cards together. You can't really play Caretaker's Talent without Carrot Cake. They're just too good together that you find yourself constantly playing these cards in the same deck list. And the reason we went here is I was trying Unholy Annex at first, which is going to be a card you'll see in the first match, and kind of my displeasure with it in that kind of build. Even though we were able to kind of gain some life and get out of that, I felt like a card like Caretaker's Talent can help us take over the game much better, especially with a card like Kaya, which we'll get to in just a second. Outside of that, we were playing Legions to Ashes as we are constantly dragging the game out. Offspring becomes more of a problem, or making copies of stuff becomes quite a problem if that comes down to it. And then temporary lockdowns to help us survive that late game. You could play more of this, but we'll just see how it goes, obviously, in the video. Other than that, we have Kaya. This is a very cool planeswalker that surveils 2, exiles a card in the graveyard, Ketramose in play, that will draw us a card. We can either plus it and make a 1/1 white and black spirit creature token with flying, which is very good. Triggers our Caretaker's Talent, and then we can activate Caretaker's Talent, making a copy of that token, so we have a token producer on a planeswalker, which is nice. You'll get to see this card against Esper Pixie, where it absolutely takes over the game, which is very, very awesome for this card. Other than that, it's a very solid removal spell as well. I didn't realize it was only 2 mana or 2 loyalty to do, where this is 4 mana -2. Exile target creature you control. For each other player, exile up to 1 target creature that player controls. So we can just get rid of a token that maybe we've made off of a Carrot Cake. If, for example, we go Carrot Cake, Caretaker's Talent, Kaya, we can exile that token, get rid of a thing, and then we just have Kaya in play with everything ready to go. Play 2 Shieldreds, as Shieldred is a glue card in this deck, just brings everything together. Rides in, making this deck a lot more possible, being a 2 mana exile piece that works with Ketramose pretty well. And then Deadly Cover Up to surgical anything that we need. Also, weird little tech here. It says destroy all creatures. Ketramose is indestructible. Deadly Cover Up will not remove Ketramose from the battlefield. It just doesn't work that way. Hence why we're not playing Sunfall. We're playing Deadly Cover Up. And we have enough exile effects to get rid of Heartfire heroes and whatnot. So with that said, quite a long one today, I believe. I think the games went pretty long. We grinded out some of them. We get to see how many cards we draw. We draw a ton in a few games. But with that said, let's go game. Okay, I think I'm done with Fable Passage. I swear I've been playtesting this deck, trying to figure it out before recording. And I just have a Fable Passage with 2 lands in my opener. Pretty much no matter how many lands I actually end up playing or not. And it always just like, I have a turn 1 play, but I have to wait till turn 2. And now, for example, like a higher claw I could have picked up, but now I gotta wait a bit. I probably just do this anyway still. Isolate their hand. Ember Heart. Do have Ride's End for the Screaming Nemesis after this turn. If I leave Ember Heart, they'll most likely play it. And then I can exile it. I think I get rid of it though. I can always exile the Screaming Nemesis, maybe. Be a weird one. Going to be a weird one, I suppose. Huh. Sure. Thought maybe they would use a spell. We'll get rid of Fable Passage. That's the reason we play it, to be honest, is that situation right there where we can kind of exile our own Fable Passage to get Ketramose up there and ready to go, but at the same time, it's just weird. Yeah. Sure. Huh. I'll take 1 damage to see if they invest a spell or not. Just rides in, and then we can anoint this after. On our turn. Go for a Heartfire Hero, sure. Guess I can just wait a spot like this. I want to hold this deadly cover up because I think I would like to just exile the Screaming Nemesis total, because it's the only card I can really think of that's actually bad here. Sure. Point. I can now get rid of Dreams. Also, them holding this Nemesis, even though like we've definitely hit exile effects and whatnot, seems a bit crazy to me. What happens if they hit the land? I don't know. I'm gonna play this though. I'm gonna try to find lands. If they're just gonna sit back on the Screaming Nemesis and wait, then sure. Yeah. All right. Well, now they can lightning strike it, because why not? Yeah, sure. Thankfully, we get to do kind of the cool thing. We want to exile it. The exiles this costs 3 less cast for targets a tapped permanent here. I will use Lightning Strike. Then I will Rides End it. Now we get exiled. They get no map tokens, and everything kind of works out well for us. Then, besides the fact that we lose another life here, although we do have a tap land. I just dead to that. I always hate being dead to the fact that they top deck like a creature, and because they have so much mana, it works out for them, you know? They not monster shreds and cash in for so much damage when they play burn spells. Just doesn't quite make sense to me, you know? Here. Lock. Put a 6/6 in the way. Back up. Sure. Huh? Cast Monster Shreds and pump it. They can go over top. It's obviously a bit tough. Let's throw a block because we have to. Yep. And go over by 1 here. Sure. Fail. Okay. Let's blow this up. Unholy Annex proving to be worse for wear, that's for sure. I'd guess. They have it, right? This. My draw. Play my land. Play my Ketramose. Activate this one, Ketramose. Okay. Activate. Here on this, I guess. We want this gone. I mean, honestly, don't float a mana like you got it like that, bro. You obviously would have done it on your Swift Spear the turn before. Thankfully, we knew we had one basic left only, and apparently we're still hitting lands. Super sick. Don't want to really activate this until I can get a blocker and attack off. Huh? I have Ketramose. You have Heartfire Hero. Not good. You have give Heartfire Hero haste. Sure. Will you do anything with it though? No. No, okay. So I can exile. It doesn't matter on their turn, correct? It only matters on our turn. I could deadly cover up and surgical those, but that doesn't make a lot of sense right now. Actually, it makes a lot of sense, right? I will move to combat first. I will attack. Okay. Cast a temporary lockdown. I'll lose a life and I will draw a card. Okay. Okay, very cool. Only drawing lands at the end of the game. Alright, opponents first. I'll try just because of the surveil land here. Seems like we might be okay. Maybe not. Carrot Cake gone. So Carrot Cake can technically make a 1/1 here. Pray Lockdown's best draw at some point along with a land. We do find the land part, which matters. Let's pop this, and then we can Legion of Ash this whenever they use their turn to play these maps. Hopefully they kind of tap out here. The ideal. Okay, that's on top, which means they're way less likely to have one in their hand. It's obviously nice. Okay. I'm going for this regardless of whether they have it or not, right? Their creature has trample, everything's going right. We fire this off. They have a second one, or they have one in their hand, then they have it. There's just nothing I can do about that. And we kind of get to, in a weird way, punish them for it. Let's set a Caretaker's Talent up. Not using that last mana, trying to bait this is a little bit wild to me. We'll play second Caretaker's Talent, and now we'll establish the kind of draw engine that Caretaker's Talent provides. And we don't want more lands, bro, I promise. Not right now, that is. Never mind, I want more lands. Just give them all to me. Kaya, a very good card to set up with these. Challenger, sure. We do get to kind of chump block here, and if they commit more to the board, then obviously we get to do some stuff. Interesting. I can try to exile it, or I can play this, make a token. Then I can make another token. I think I'm okay with that. It's just weird now that they have that protection spell, right?
I like a good fight. Notice I didn't say fair.
I don't know how exactly I'm supposed to get the exiles up. Okay. Interesting. Sacrifice this. We also gain a bit of life by sacrificing that. It's just a bit weird. Not a whole lot I can do about it. Okay. I don't know what their target is. Probably my 1/1. That would make a ton of sense. Or my Kaya. Yeah, that makes sense.
This city's rotten as
Tapped.
ever.
Sure. I say I wouldn't activate that map if I were you. I want to do the flyer or the ground creature. It's a little bit interesting. I think it's supposed to be the ground creature just in case. Ketramose can go to the bottom. We obviously have one of those ready to go. I can double draw here. Another soul, another carrot cake is pretty nice. Or 2, whatever. I can't pay the ward twice, right? 3, 2, and then the ward would be a problem. I don't want to wait forever. Do Shelter by Ghost. Yep. Take a little bit of that protection away, get our Kaya back. And then we can do it this way, where we now exile... Oh, wait. Exile 1 creature you control for each other player. Exile up to 1... Okay, sure. I had to reread that because I thought I was in, like, a lot of trouble. I was like, wait a minute. That's not what I want. Here, and then here. And whenever they try to protect it, we'll then exile it with Rides In. Fantastic. Now gone. And then just like that, we'll get to establish a carrot cake. Nice Monstrous Rage. Unfortunately, not going to do them much here. We play a carrot cake. We'll leave a carrot cake. Why not? And we'll just draw 2 more cards. With all that said and done, I replaced this with over Unholy Annex, and I feel like it's done significantly better job already. App activation, sure. So you already flipped over the Monstrous Rage. Are we answering Kaya now or no? Interesting spot to be in. Oh, flying. Okay. Filter by Ghost immediately in hand. Answering Kaya for us is actually a positive thing. Even though this does give us a flying creature, which is quite funny. I think they just realized that.
I don't stay gone.
So, Ketramose. There won't be a way to exile 2 cards here. Level this up. Got 2 draws. Temporary lockdown. Okay. Combat. Attack. Let's play Surveil Land. I'm gonna keep now because I'm in kind of danger of decking myself, which is quite wild. Let's play Lockdown. Now it's a bit of a nombo with our deck, but Temporary Lockdown is just too good of a card to not play. Now we have Ketramose, a really nice life gainer that they can now kind of absorb here, which is okay. Why can I see Ketramose on the bottom of my library? It's Ketramose, right? It is. Okay. I can see him down there. For anybody who thinks the shuffler's broken, I guess. We can establish a Fountain Port, which is fine. Play a Carrot Cake, which is fine. Restoring that thing, like, I'm looking for a Deadly cover-up, maybe. There's just a lot of options. That's just fine enough. Also a good card. We play Ghost Vacuum. And then we just say, okay. We just wait here. I'm in pausing simulator right now. Always having 7 cards in hand feels really good, though. I've We are 30 cards deep, and I had 7 the entire time, it feels like. There's a very scary beginning part of this game. But honestly, I'm kind of excited to have Ghost Vacuum exile everything. Okay. I don't know what this ends up targeting. Sure. Huh. Fine. Declare it as an attacker, please. I want this Shelter by Ghost specifically. I'd like my Ketramose back. I would now like to block with Ketramose. We think they have it. I'm gonna call them. Autopay. No, they do not have it. Very nice. Monster Rage goes away. Everything's exiled up. And now it's token copy. Here. Draws don't matter necessarily that much. And then we'll just level up both these Caretaker's talent and slack our opponent for like 1,000,000. By 1,000,000, it's going to be... I forgot. Does this only do tokens? Preacher tokens, yeah. So they'd be 5/5s. They'd be left with a 5/5 holding back. This would get to attack for 5. This would get to attack for 4. We hit for 9. And then we're just moving on. But yeah, talk about outvaluing mono red to the maximum. 40 cards, so our 27. But we get it done. We move on. Oh, yeah. This is a hand. We'll keep. They maul? Okay. As long as... I don't even know. I feel like Caretaker's talent, I've had a lot of success beating Hopeless Nightmare. I think one of our biggest kind of comps is Kaito, but thankfully I get to play Get Lost instead of being stuck with too many Go for the Throats in my typical kind of typical deck. Okay. Play here. Then we'll have a Get Lost ready to go. You could have that protection spell. No. Okay. Rabbit Mice. This doesn't have anything when it gets targeted. I'm pretty excited for that. I think I just hold this. Or creature you can get a 1/1 until in a turn. It can't be blocked by a creature. It's just a 2/1. Okay. That makes sense. Shieldred being a nice time. Ketramose will be a nice time. Temporary Lockdown will also be great. I could have maybe played around a protection spell, but I said I feel like the move. They have protection. They have it, I guess. I just didn't feel like letting them go into their turn with map tokens was good. Because then they get to do this. But I'm not taking 5. Oh, okay. So they do kind of play that stuff, which is interesting. I think they have Shelter by Ghost. Most likely, right? This works. Didn't protect the first spell. We hope they don't protect that one. Pass? Never pass. Alright. Ah, and they hit a land? What a hit. It's those situations where we really want them to not hit a land more than anything, to be honest. I guess if it's a Shelter by Ghost, I suppose I lose to it because this has trample, so like kind of playing this doesn't matter too much. I'll play a Shieldred, and I'm just gonna hope it sticks. Maybe they have a Get Lost. They could have a Shelter by Ghost. There's a lot that they could have. Go down. Shieldred's just taking the hit no matter what happens. We lose. We lose. Monster Rage. Looking for it. Another land, sure. I will trade. I'll take 1. Perfect. You run out of cards. Caretakers. A little doodad. A land on top is fine. You have this to sack to go to 10 here. This is where you have to get these decks where they kind of run a little short on creatures and hit a small pocket of lands. It's what you need to have happen, I guess. I guess I don't know if they'll give this haste. Maybe not. Okay. Up this. Now this gives 1-0, correct? It does. You still want that land. We just want to gain life and then put some stuff down. Kind of have a good time from there. Another land isn't awful. Especially with a caretaker talent starting. Play another carrot cake. See kind of where we can go. Honestly, I think I wait on that land. I'm going to get another look. I know that's like really bad practice, not sitting there thinking about it for a second and moving on, but it just is what it is. My turn. Okay. Gladly, partner. That means their hand's not necessarily good. Ghost Vacuum's actually not that bad to set up, especially if we have a Ketramose. It'll just take us a little while to get to that point. Caretakers. Carrot cake. This is where playing carrot cakes and stuff like this is just going to be so good. We already don't really want that land. We'll take a land regardless. Now we get to play Ghost Vacuum. And we can start exiling stuff from the graveyard to get ready for Ketramose. We just have to be kind of careful of losing too much life. Another land from them, and they already passed last turn. Feels like we might be able to start icing this game up. Honestly, here's a weird thing. With this many tokens, is it actually not better for me to just double level up this Caretaker's talent? I think that's where I'm at. Copy this. Like, look how much power and toughness I get on this board. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's so much power and toughness. I'll threaten 1 and 2. I'm still holding back 12 power. So I'm essentially at 25, barring like a Screaming Nemesis or something. 3, 6, 9, 12. Yeah. And the stall out that we desperately needed happened. We have an Anoint, so barring that and flinging it. Okay. Maybe they were playing around a board wipe this whole time. So their hand wasn't as dead as it seemed. Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Sure. Their hand was not near as dead as it seemed, but it's dead enough that they're probably conceding here. They're just doing their kind of like challenge thing that they probably have to do. Fortunately, I'm down to whether this came out. I don't care. Like, I am here for the long haul, brother. And I'm going to show you the card of choice for the deck today. Here's a Ketramose. We're going to exile here. Then we're going to do this. We're going to draw another card here. I can go away. And I will anoint this. Draw another card. And just like that, we are cooking up a storm now, brother. Threaten lethal by a lot. They have to double block, because if 2 of these hit, or if they block 1, they die. If they block both, they run out of creatures and they still die. Essentially. Like, there's not really a whole lot they can do about it. As you can see, they'll take 9 here. Dead. Just like that, we're going to come away with this game pretty handedly. And I'm just going to, I'm just going to go right into combat. I'm going to skip all that. They kind of flooded a bit, which is obviously lucky for us, but we held off kind of that early aggro that they got. I mean, it was this into this, playing this and then this, and we dealt with it all. So I'm not that upset about it. So we'll move on. All right, we're allowed to go first now, which is pretty cool to hand like this. We'll keep a lot of removal and especially exile target non-land permanent, which is nice. In case it's not a creature deck or something like that, Deadly Cover-Up can just be thrown in the bin. I think I have too much removal that the Deadly Cover-Up, 1, is going to seem a little weird, but 2, we're a little too mana hungry with this hand that we need to find lands to even play that. Okay. Fountain Port. Play Carrot Cake. Pretty much a dead tail sign of what we're up to. A land we'll keep. Typically, Carrot Cake is always a... this card basically reads partner. Like if you've played Commander, it has partner for, you know, Caretaker's talent. Oh, we're against Domain. This is going to be a tough one, I think. I'll probably have to Legions to Beanstalk, which is wild. Their Jace will be in a little bit of trouble. Doesn't really matter if we wait, because only tokens that get exiled if they have the same name. Like another Beanstalk doesn't necessarily affect us all too much. Alright. Well, let's see if this is good. The Beanstalk in play, typically Shieldred always has to... They always take damage to answer Shieldred, which is always funny. But... that's kind of a weird thing that we exiled it, I guess. The Git lost my Shieldred, sure. Which means I can pump this 1/1 to the moon. By to the moon, I mean just casually give it a little bit more power. Why you keep highlighting my stuff, bro? Oh, you're going to temporary lockdown. Okay. Shieldred? Just vacuum. Turn. Leyline Binding. Might just activate this to get it out of the way, I guess. Could do my own Shieldred, I guess. So if I ever want to pop this, I can make it a 1/1. Honestly, if it's Xur, this is going to be one of the matchups we never win, by the way. In Modern, you can kind of grind this out when you have a Ketramose and whatnot, but here in Standard, Domain's going to probably slam us. What? You know what, dude? Fair enough. I want my Shieldred back, and I want it now. Okay. Pretty reliant on the Shieldred right now. Bottom. Don't have either Ketramose or anything else. Anything they target with Agatha's Soul Cauldron, I'm probably going to exile in response. Yeah. My card. That's mine. Sure. That's the thing. They just have so much removal for me. My deck's a little too slow. It's okay. Probably take one more draw, and if it's like a land here, I'm probably just conceding. But eventually, they're going to play a Xur, and this is going to be too much, or this is going to get the attack on the next turn. Like that. Binding for that? Maybe I stay, because I don't know if I agree with that decision at all. The land is not a good one. Nail. Okay, bad. Here. Okay, I will move on. I will just move on and I'll save everybody time. I'm not winning that game. I'm good. Opponents first. That's fine. We see Omniscience. Do we think they're the Omniscience deck? Think they're big Omniscience fans? Think this Ghost Vacuum's going to be good? Probably not. They're probably mono red. Or I have to rely on this and someday, somehow, get 7 permanents in the yard. And there's Nord's offlane. We'll see. I mean, regardless of what happens, because duress and things are possible, we're going to play our Ghost Vacuum. Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Sir. Mr. Sir, go ahead. Get to play a Caretaker's Talent and play a Fountain Port this turn, unless of course we get interacted with. They draw. You missing a land? Oh, you are. Okay. I'll play a Caretaker's Talent. Pretty good so far. Could be a Reanimate deck, but Maze My Tome wouldn't make a ton of sense for that. I could have Legions of Ashed it, but I know as soon as I do. Okay. Got a little nervous. And that's fine. Okay to be a little nervous. Also, if they draw and they miss, it's actually pretty tough overall. But Carrot Cake going to be a fantastic pickup here. Honestly, better than Ketramose at this current point. I'll put it back in my hand. I love Ketramose. And then now we just get to pass here. We get to pop this Carrot Cake on their end step, and then we get to move forward with that game plan. Also, if they activate that Maze My Tome, we play Ketramose on their turn, it actually exiles itself. Or if they activate it on our turn, then we get a free card draw out of it, which is kind of crazy. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that, Legions of Ash? I still take a card draw. I'll put a land on the bottom for now. Definitely want to be finding more copies of something like Carrot Cake, but that's exiled, so that's fine. I go to my turn. Aya is actually huge. What do we want to do now? I think I want to play Ketramose, because then they have to figure out an answer to it, right? Ketramose? Get rid of this. I don't know. So for some reason, like what I was listening to went somewhere weird. Like that too much. Attack for 2. I guess weird's a harsh way to put that. It wasn't weird. It was just like I didn't know what was actually being played in my ear. No. Sure. Fine. It's okay. I wouldn't have done anything anyway, but. Sure. Play Kaya. Combat. Attack for 2.
I'm gonna make you.
Surveil 2, exile a card from a graveyard, create a spirit. Sure, I'll just surveil 2.
Finally, a breakthrough.
My graveyard, your graveyard. I'll just get rid of yours. I actually have to read her kind of passive ability again. I forget what the. When one or more creatures you control enter creature cards in your graveyard or put in exile, you may choose a creature card from among them. Until end of turn, target token you control becomes a copy of it. Sure, man. Soul searching right now. I have some stuff, and a lot of my stuff exiles. This card I have on top, it's problem child for you. I will go to my graveyard, your graveyard. I'll exile this card in your graveyard. Sure. Honestly, that card's Soul Search isn't a bad card. I could consider playing that over what I currently play. 1/1 creature, combat. One of the weird things is like, am I not supposed to be activating Fountain Port here, you know? Surveil 2. Okay. Okay. Alright, sure. Sure, dude. I will keep those. Play Shieldred here. Let's ask them to deal with it once again. Played a lot of exile effects in terms of Legion of Ash or Anoint, which Anoint obviously doesn't work here. Legion of Ash does. They go to the bottom. Maybe we'll see another Surveil. No, I think they missed it. I think they meant to. They play Ketramose. Sure. Hey. I like that. I like that a lot, boss. But I'm not here for that. I don't care at this point. It's actually quite punishing for you. Shieldred trigger. Move to combat. Attack. 7. Go Caretaker's Talent. Off. All that can resolve for now. Onto the bottom, sure. Activate here. I copy this for now. I'll go ahead and draw this top card because we know we want it. Then I guess I can just go ahead and surveil 2 more. Second Caretaker's Talent I think makes this pretty much unbeatable, and a Ride's End's also fine. We'll exile that in case our opponent's playing a deadly cover-up or something themselves. I guess that only affects our graveyard. I don't know why I said it like that. They're down to 5, and we actually outgrind them. Okay, cool. Going first, hand's a little weird, but we will keep. This is deceivingly 2 mana most of the time. Vigilance isn't necessarily a keyword that's super printed on everything. Okay, protection is though. Sure. Alright, it's Esper picks. Pardon me? Everybody freeze. Like, wait. Pardon me? I ain't messing with this, dude. I'll take 1. But there's probably something way worse that I probably have to deal with. I guess I probably should have not done that and dodged Kaido, huh? They have a flash? I don't know. This will get an answer out of him. I meant to make a token.
Your problems are my profits. Finally, a breakthrough.
I have no idea. I meant to make a token. I figured something like that was going to happen. But try our best. Yeah. Sure. Lockdown. Will you stay alive, Kaya? I hope so. Alright, Kaya's gonna stay alive, which is huge.
I don't back down so easily.
Oh boy. Plus token raw land surveil. Sure. Plus I could copy this and really try to protect our Kaya here. Our Kaya's our main engine. If we get to protect Kaya in a spot like this, we then get to draw for free every turn against the discard deck. And then we get to deadly cover up, getting rid of Entity Tracker. Unless, of course, they have a this town, which would suck. But they tapped out last turn, so we'd have to see. And they activated map, so it didn't feel like they had more hopeless nightmares to play, right? But we'll see. Thankfully, we have a land, and thankfully, we at least have a fountain port that we can activate if all else fails and we lose our Kaya, so on and so forth. This town ain't big enough. Bouncing my Caretaker's Talent. Okay. Sure. Everybody's favorite. Okay. Get rid of our land. Oh, my back. Oh. Weird pinch, and I did not like that. Honestly, I hope it's not have 2 mana open when I try to cast this deadly cover up. Okay, sure. That actually helps us out a ton. That means we blow up a lot of this board, and we'll just end up losing our get lost, I think. Sure. Need. So we can actually do something interesting here. I guess leave this, this. But we can over exile, so if we do draw a Ketramose, we can actually have it active here. This town honestly feels way worse once I'm set up and whatnot, so I'm actually getting rid of those. Kaito, Hopeless Nightmare, Fear, Library. You can look, they have a flanker, 1 momentum, nowhere, Fell Pierce. Okay. Yeah, sure. So we got 3, done. Those can just go away. Nobody wants those around. We don't like those. I will then make a token. Because when I replay Caretaker's Talent, I can then copy this after I Surveil 2 if I want. Hopeless Nightmare, sure. They know what our card is. They're going to get both cards, I guess. Which sucks. I couldn't get Hopeless Nightmare out. I didn't know about this card at the time. Sure. Sure. Everybody loves a good Hopeless Nightmare cycle plan. Sure. Can leave that there. All right. I guess I can just Surveil to try to find something. Deadly cover-up's like, okay. What do I even get? I can't deal with Kaido. So both of these cards are kind of bad. Weird. I guess Rides End's okay. Get rid of this one, I suppose. Oh, obviously we hold. Again, trying to keep our Kai alive. I guess I can mine. Didn't this hit a Planeswalker? Exile target creature you control for each other. Okay, sure. Okay. Huh. Or draw this Rides End anyway. Doesn't really matter, I guess. All right. Is Kaido stunning my 1/1?
Ha! I love a dramatic entrance.
I hope so, because that'd be really funny. Oh. I feel like for some reason that's even a weirder
I've
play.
trained with the best.
Huh. I can make dude, and that doesn't work. Huh. Sacrifice token, draw a card. Doesn't really matter if I throw a block or not. Exile that. Another land, not fantastic. I'll tell you that. Fail 2. Filtered pretty good card.
I've got the perfect vantage point.
I exile that, I suppose. We play here. They go, I guess. I can make a token, and then I can sack said token, I guess. Going face, okay, fair enough. Take a token. Blocks. Block here. Sacrifice token, draw a card. I just don't know how I'm going to get out of this game at this point without a Caretaker's Talent or whatever. If I have a Caretaker's Talent, it feels over, in my opinion. Just because of how quickly it's going to draw a card, put more creatures out, etc., etc. Okay, cool. Spell Pierce is a card. Here. Here. This. I don't care.
I found an eyewitness.
Comparatively, I don't really care. Obviously, Kaido can stun something, but Kaya's way too high in terms of cost. I can start exiling with Kaya potentially. This town is not a card that they have access to anymore. They can know where to run and Monument Break me, but Monument Break is only a one of that I saw. Ixie, sure. Is this now picking up Storm or Hopeless, hoping that grinds out the game? I feel like at some point with our Hopeless Nightmare, we should back it to Scrot. You have 8 million mana. Nowhere to Run's definitely a card that they can play here. I think Shieldred's way too valuable as a like actual creature. So I'm not looking. Okay, they're stunning that, sure.
Sit down. Rethink.
Huh. Where are we going? Where are we at? Kaido to face. Fairy Mastermind to where? Fairy Mastermind will be like the only card I block. Kind of no matter where it goes, I think. No, I guess that's a lot of damage. Hopeless Nightmare is kind of trouble. Alright, Kaido goes to Kaya. That goes to face. Question marks all around for our opponent. Now they're lost. They don't know what they're supposed to prioritize. Which is fair, to be honest. It's definitely not, like, easy. If I can answer this Fairy Mastermind and then whatever. Or if I could just answer Kaido, that would also be sick. They could cast a spell, and their prowess would go up 1. That's what? 4, 5, 6, 7? Nah. See. We'll let it happen. So what's our loyalty at? E? Sure. The spell's in there. Legions. Legions helps out so much. Let's go, dude. I know. Kaito gone. We do have to pay attention to our fountain ports. I will say that. Oh, sure. Well, they already triggered their Fairy Mastermind, so for me, that's pretty A-okay, I guess. All I saw in terms of counterspell was just Spell Pierce. I don't think to worry about that. We're already back up to 15. How quick we're able to cycle around with the Shieldred the Gathering, which is nice. You have to be careful. I don't really want to lose my Kaya. This Fairy Mastermind is slightly annoying, but we can always draw first now because this Fairy Mastermind's already triggered. I could sacrifice it. I can make a 1/1 here and sacrifice it to exile that. But like, am I not just better making another 1/1? But if they prowess, I guess that'd be 3, but then they could kill the creature and stuff. Do this. Let's just make our creatures a bit more threatening, huh? And we'll pass. Shieldred's over here trying to figure out her game plan. She's like, I'm still stunned, big dog. I don't know. I'm not having a good time, as the kids would say. Entity Tracker. Sure. I will lose 2 and you will lose 2. This town not being in their deck, just knowing this town ain't big enough is not in their deck, is literally making me so happy. I don't think you understand. Knowing I never have to worry about this card right here makes me so unbelievably happy. All right, they'll draw another card. I'll lose 2 and they'll lose 2. They have 4 mana available, potentially 5. I don't know if they played a land or not. Honestly, being able to grind out this game is such a huge pickup for us overall, if we're actually able to. main issue they're going to run into is just a little too much flyers for me. They're going to lose 2 more. And just so we know, when I double draw here, they'll draw again. They're at 4. So they have to answer Shieldred kind of now-ish. And we know they don't have this down. Okay. Sure. Have they given up? They've given up. They're dead. It is over. Because now, at any point, when they draw another land or draw another card, it is over. They won't be able to interact because I'm going to draw 2 on my turn. It doesn't really matter what they do. No. Actually, I let that go. Yeah, I just block here, block there if I want. And then I just win no matter what. So beating that deck, honestly, is a big positive for us because this is going to obviously be a deck we run into a lot. I do think the game started off a little bit weird where they immediately bounced Caretaker's Talent. But man, Deadly covering up this stupid card, bro. That was there's no better way to end this video. So with that, let's go to the outro for a bit. Okay, everyone, here we are, and this is our active deck list that we are currently on. And I do think one change I might almost make right away, and that's realistically just not playing either any 1-drop or just substituting Dreams of Steel and Oil out. This card's good, and you do kind of want it for Ketramose, but I feel like the value there is just not enough to do it, where I much rather almost to some extent go down on this, maybe go up a lockdown or maybe play a cut down. And I also think with Ketramose himself, because of how strong Caretaker's Talent was in these matchups, you could probably go down to 3 if this is something you want to try out. Kaya, however, was an unsung MVP in this deck, and I absolutely loved playing her, especially with how good she is with Caretaker's Talent. It kind of gives you that Wandering Emperor kind of vibe, that one that had the flash and whatever, where Kaya weirdly also just has 2+ abilities and a really strong minus, where exile target creature you control for each other player, exile up to 1 target creature that player controls. And if we're making tokens a lot, it gives Kaya such good, like, it's 4 mana exile a creature, but it's also 4 mana draw a card to like prevail 2 exile cards from a graveyard that matter. Like for against Omniscience, it's a good hate piece and things like that, where they have to put it in on our end step. And if we leave it floating around, we can obviously Deadly cover up. I do think one of the biggest helping pieces we get in this deck, and why maybe Dreams of Steel and Oil don't matter too much, getting to play a card like Rides In, where this can exile target creature or vehicle that's tapped. I think this is much better. Actually, over this card, I think I would much rather have it be like a Shieldred's Edict, even, just to get cards out of the way. And I do think with Ghost Vacuums and kind of Annoyance and temporary lockdowns and stuff like that, and Legions to Ash, we'll get enough exile pieces in there that we don't necessarily need the Dreams of Steel and Oil, and especially with like Deadly cover up as well. So I don't know if we necessarily need that many pieces to get Ketramose online. Obviously, it's always nice to trigger every turn, but realistically in Standard, without getting to play Solitude like I do in Modern, we don't necessarily have the freedom to take a ton of damage for it. That's why in Game 1, I had Unholy Annex, immediately replace it with Caretaker's Talent, because I thought Unholy Annex was just too close. I had to get lost my own Unholy Annex, and it just felt really bad. But with that said, I hope you all enjoyed regardless. This was a really fun take on the deck. I don't know what other lists are out there. This is kind of just what I ended up coming up with. As you can probably see throughout the video, it changed quite a lot. I did have 3 Unholy Annexes. I had no Caretaker's Talent. I had Duress. I had Cut Down. I had Elspeth Smite in here. I didn't have any Legions. Get Lost was a 4 of. Rides In was a 3 of. Deadly Cover Up was a 2 of. Sunfall was also in here. Shieldred at one point went from 2 to 1 to 3 to 4. And then Kaya was 1 and 2 because I didn't get to play Kaya that much, so I didn't know if she was good or bad. I think maybe even playing 2 of her would be fine because she is only 4 mana, and it's pretty solid. But overall, this deck just turned out way better than I thought it was going to, because every time I see a Ketramose, I'm kind of like, well, that's not that good, especially the deck I'm playing always felt like a good counter to it. But I think Ketramose might just be fine enough that we can play it in a deck like this. And like Caretaker's Talent be the overall lead to the deck, but have Ketramose as a backup to that. And I think that works out great, especially whenever you have two draw engines that work out very well together. So with that said, I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.